All I have to say is that Void Bastards, 100% game of the year contender. I think it's a great game, and I'm just gonna show you why. I'm gonna explain to you why. The gameplay is amazing. You go on a ship, you're gonna go salvage, you're gonna go do a bunch of stuff, you're gonna shoot, you're sliding as you're moving. There's so many things to talk about of how great the gameplay is. First of all, you have a HUD on your top left, which is your health. On the right, you have your oxygen tank with a little timer to tell you how much oxygen you need and how much you have left. You also have, your equipment on the bottom right, which tells you what you're holding at the moment, and you have your map on the left. That's it. The HUD's very simple. I like it. Very sweet, elegant, to the point. And then I just, the movement, you don't move that fast, because if you run, you're going to alert the enemies. So that's a really big problem in the long run. And you kind of don't want to alert some enemies. I mean, some of them are pushovers, but then you meet some really, really big guys, which they really mess you up. So I'm going to start talking about some of the enemies you're going to visit. The janitor, but he's just kind of a loser. Don't really have much to say about him. These blue little guys called tourists, where they literally blow up in one shot. We also have these enemies called the spook, who go invisible after a couple shots, and they try to flank you and they try to kill you as fast as possible in a stealthy way. You have this weird looking librarian looking dude, and he's called a scribe, and I'm just like, get out of here, scribe. You're all dead. Like, look at that. They're weak. You also have these big guys where they're big trouble. They're gonna need to stun them, and you also need to pull out your thing, maybe poison them a little bit, and keep wailing at them. The combos are just ridiculous. You could really think about a couple of things to do in order to take down your enemies. And I really like how the enemies look. Like this guy's called a screw, and he's just a big dude. He's just a really big dude. There's environmental hazards as well. There's some yellow pool of radiation on the ground, and if it builds up, you take some damage. There's also some oil on the ground, and it can make you very slippery, so you're almost like butter, and you're kind of going left and right, and you're uncontrollably for a little bit. So there's always something to look out for. If it's not enemies, then there's environmental hazards, like I said, that you have to deal with until you find a healing station to remove that debuff of radiation or of oil. So it's just very interesting the way that they do it. Sometimes you're on the hunt for fuel, for food, for a vast amount of materials, because you need them all to survive. If you run out of fuel, then you adrift, and it also runs down your food supply, so you could actually starve to death. So there's a lot of complexities to the act of survival in this vast nebula of space. So there's a lot to think about. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of things to kind of think about on your journey. And I like how every ship is different. You're going into a ship and the power's off, and it makes things less stale. So you're going to go look for that generator room, turn on that power to make sure you could salvage everything, because when the power's off, you can't salvage anything. I love that. I love the little intensity you have. It's like, okay, the ship has no power, maybe there's better loot, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna get out, I gotta do it, and also you can't escape either when the power's off. So there's really big like kind of like lost there. So the moment you find that switch and you look down there, you're just like, I did it. So you're done salvaging the ship, then you go back to your Steve, and then it prompts this menu where it shows your prize salvage item on the top, and then the second layer is your fuel, and then your food, and then the warp keys and torpedoes, and on the right shows all the junk that you've collected, where it's actually not junk, because you actually recycle it, and you use all of those materials that you got to create more items, and then those items are used to upgrade your other stuff, which I really like. It kind of shows that there's no wasted item on here. Like, for example, I create the spanner, and then I also create the pad, and I use that to make a senior stapler, which is one of my guns, and then I upgrade it, and it becomes stronger, becomes better. And then I also used a faded jacket, I upgrade that as well, and then now I have more health, I have more like resistance to damage, and I really appreciate that everything can be used. It's really a good idea. Now I'm going to talk about some of the weapons, the equipment you get, and some of the devices you'll be getting along your journey on this game. You also have a standard pistol as one of the first guns you start off with. It just does minimal damage until you kind of upgrade it. Just one of the starting weapons you get. You have this staple gun, which is basically a shotgun, and it just like shoots like 6 shots and you're destroying people left and right, multiple ones, one or two, no matter who's in your way, you're just gonna destroy them. You also have the Rifter, where you can just take things out of existence and put them back in whenever you want. You have these little cats that you could throw when they like distract the enemy and they blow up. It's just like the vast amount of weapons you have is just crazy. Like, just throw a cat, blows up. It's just, what were you thinking? It's amazing. You also have this zap gun where you could stun like this turret over here, and then I could switch to my stapler and I could just utterly destroy it like it never existed. Sometimes you have these tranquil moments where the music is just adding to the atmosphere that you're traveling in this vast nebula, this vast emptiness of space, and it's just, you're looking around at all these ships and you're wondering where to go, but then you're hearing this music and you're just so calm, and you know wherever you go, it's the right place to go. It's just amazing. I love it. I love that sound when you're just in this map and you're like, man, I could go anywhere. I could go anywhere I want. It's just great. This game is a learn and step process, so you're going to be going around, you're going to be going in a ship, and you're most likely going to die.
Life support systems critical.
And when I say die, I mean you're literally going to die.
Life support systems critical.
But dying is okay, because then you go back to your main arc and you're able to get a new prisoner. So they basically just get like this little baggie and they pour it into your ship and you get a new prisoner. And they all come with different attributes, which is very cool. So sometimes if your character has a bad attribute, you might as well just toss them to the side. Like for example, Hill over here, she's able to see stuff on the map. So there's actually kind of benefits for sometimes getting a new character, because you might get a better attribute in the long run. You even might get someone like Johnson, which is a cannibal, and every time you kill someone they drop food. So every new prisoner is gonna have something special about them. So even though you're gonna die and you might start back in the beginning of your nebula, you're gonna have somebody new and it's gonna add on to the experience. It's almost like you almost want to keep going. You want to keep going and seeing everything. And even after you get this new prisoner, you might find a machine that's able to change your attributes. DNA therapy is that machine I was talking about a little bit earlier. So you have a couple of traits. To the left is a bad trait, the right's a good trait, and the middle is a neutral trait. So you read the attributes, you pick one, and then you go for it, and you kind of change your character to maybe make it better, or you just remove something you didn't like about it. I really hope you liked my review. Leave a comment of what you think I should review next, or if you want something different, or what you didn't like about this video. I take any criticism at all, and I hope you guys have a really good day. Like, subscribe, and peace out.